There is a small temple at the edge of a forest, where the trees grow close together and the air is always cool. The temple has been here for a long time. Its wooden walls have turned soft and gray with the years. Moss grows along the lower stones, and the roof tiles are dark with rain and age. Tonight, the temple is quiet. A single lamp burns in the window, its flame barely moving. The light it gives is small and golden, just enough to see by, just enough to rest beside. You have found your way here somehow. Perhaps you walked, perhaps you were carried by the hours. It does not matter now. What matters is that you are here, and the day is behind you. The day was long. You do not need to remember it now. You do not need to solve anything or finish anything or understand anything that happened. The day is done. It released you, and now you are here, in this quiet place where nothing is asked of you. The things that troubled you today are still there, somewhere, waiting in the world outside this temple. The tasks that went unfinished, the words that were not said, the problems that did not find their solutions. All of them exist, but they exist somewhere else now. They belong to the day, and the day is over. Tomorrow, perhaps, you will think about them again. But tonight, they cannot reach you here. A path of flat stones leads from the forest to the temple door. The stones are smooth and cool. They have been walked on many times by many feet, and they have learned to hold their place in the earth. They do not shift or wobble. They simply wait, patient and still. The trees along the path are tall and dark. They have been growing here for longer than the temple has stood. Their roots reach down into the earth, into the cool darkness beneath the surface, where things happen slowly and without sound. The trees do not know you are here. They do not know the temple is here. They simply grow, year after year, reaching for the light, letting their leaves fall when the time comes, sleeping through the winters, waking in the springs. The temple door is open. It is always open at night for anyone who needs rest. The monk who tends this place believes in openness. He believes that anyone who finds their way here in the darkness deserves whatever peace the temple can offer. So the door stays open, letting in the night air, letting in whoever comes. Inside, the floor is made of worn wood that has been polished by years of quiet footsteps. The room is simple. There is a mat for sitting. There is a small table with a lamp. There is a window that looks out at the trees. There is very little else. The monk removed most things years ago, believing that emptiness was a kind of gift, that a room with less in it had more room for rest. You may sit here. You may rest here. There is nowhere else you need to be. The village at the bottom of the mountain is quiet now, too. The shops are closed. The lights are dimmed. The people who live there are in their beds, their day's work done, their worries set aside until morning. You cannot see the village from here. It is hidden by the trees and the darkness and the curve of the mountain. But you can imagine it. A small cluster of buildings, a few streets, a life that continues day after day with its own rhythms and concerns. Outside, the forest stands in darkness. The trees do not move much tonight. There is only the smallest breeze, just enough to stir the highest leaves. The sound is soft, like water heard from far away, like something being remembered rather than heard. The lamp flame bends slightly, then straightens. It continues to burn, steady and calm. The light touches the walls, the floor, the edges of things. It does not try to illuminate everything. It simply offers what it has. Breathing happens on its own here, slow and easy. The chest rises, then falls. There is no effort in it now. The body knows how to breathe without being told. It has always known. The air in the temple is slightly cooler than the air outside. The wooden walls keep out the warmth of the day, the heat that gathers in the forest when the sun is high. By night, the temple has released that warmth, and what remains is a gentle coolness that settles on the skin like water. In the corner of the room, there is a small bowl of water. The surface is still. If you looked at it closely, you might see the lamp flame reflected there, a tiny point of gold in the darkness. But you do not need to look closely. You do not need to examine anything. You can simply know that the bowl is there, holding its stillness, asking nothing. The temple has a small courtyard behind it. The courtyard is made of the same flat stones as the path, and in the center there is a single tree. The tree is old and bent, its branches reaching out in all directions, like arms stretched wide after a long rest. At night, the tree is just a shape against the sky, darker than the darkness around it. Nothing happens in the courtyard tonight. The tree stands. The stones wait. The sky holds its stars without counting them. You have carried so much today. Everyone carries too much sometimes. The mind fills up with tasks and thoughts and small worries, and the body tightens without knowing why. But here, in this temple, there is nothing to carry. The floor holds you. The walls shelter you. The night asks nothing. The lamp continues to burn. Its flame has been burning all evening, and it will burn for hours more. There is oil enough. There is wick enough. The flame does not think about running out. It simply burns moment after moment, the same gentle light repeated again and again. Somewhere in the forest, an owl calls. The sound is low and round, like a stone dropped into deep water. It comes once, then again, then settles back into silence. The owl is not calling to anyone. It is simply making the sound that owls make when the night is quiet and the hunting is done. The air in the temple smells faintly of wood and age, and something that might be incense burned long ago. The smell is not strong. It is just a whisper of what the temple has held over the years. All the quiet nights, all the resting hours, all the people who came here when they needed somewhere to be still. Your hands can rest now. They worked today, perhaps. They held things, carried things, touched the surfaces of a busy world. Now they can simply be hands, resting on your lap or at your sides, the fingers soft and curved, the palms open to whatever quiet the night brings. The trees outside the window are patient. They do not hurry their growing. They do not rush toward morning. They simply stand in the darkness, their roots deep in the earth, their branches open to the sky, being trees the way trees have always been. Time moves differently here. Not faster or slower, just differently. An hour might feel like a moment. A moment might stretch into something longer. It does not matter which. The temple does not keep track. The lamp does not measure. The night simply continues, unhurried and complete. If thoughts come, they come. You do not need to push them away or hold on to them. They are like the breeze that stirs the highest leaves, present for a moment, then gone. The temple remains. The lamp remains. The quiet remains. There is a path through the forest that leads to a small stream. You cannot see it from here, but you might hear it if you listen carefully. A soft sound beneath the silence, water moving over stones, finding its way down the mountain as it has for years beyond counting. The stream does not care if anyone hears it. It flows because that is what streams do. The mat beneath you is old and thin. It has held many people who needed rest. It has learned how to soften, how to give just enough support without demanding attention. You can trust it to hold you. It has been doing this for a long time. The day is behind you now. Whatever it held, whatever it asked, whatever it left unfinished, all of that belongs to the day, and the day is over. You do not need to solve the day's problems in the dark. You do not need to rehearse tomorrow's tasks. You only need to be here, in this moment, where the lamp burns and the trees stand and the night unfolds at its own pace. Breathing continues, slow and easy. In and then out. The body knows this rhythm. It has known it since before you could remember, since the very first breath you ever took. You can trust the body to breathe. You can let it do what it has always done. The wooden walls of the temple are cool to the touch. They have absorbed the night air, the forest dampness, the years of quiet seasons. If you pressed your palm against the wood, you would feel that coolness, that steadiness, that patient endurance that old wood has learned. Outside, the stars turn slowly in their ancient patterns. They do not rush. They do not need to arrive anywhere. They simply move the way stars have always moved, distant and calm, riding their light across the darkness. The owl calls again, farther away now, deeper into the forest. The sound is softer, almost lost in the general hush of the night. Then it fades, and there is only the quiet again, full and complete, holding everything without effort. An old monk tends this temple. He is not here tonight. He is sleeping in his small room at the back, his breathing slow and even. He does not dream of complicated things. He dreams of water, perhaps, or of leaves falling. Simple dreams for a simple life. In the morning, he will wake and sweep the stones and tend the lamp. But that is morning's work, and morning is far away. You do not need to think about the monk. You do not need to think about anyone. You can simply rest in the space he has created, the space that all the years have shaped, this small temple at the forest's edge, this pool of lamplight, this island of peace in the great sea of the night. The flame in the lamp flickers once, then steadies. A small moth has passed by the window, drawn by the light, then carried away by its own small life. The moth is nothing to worry about. It is simply a moth, doing what moths do, living its brief and flickering existence. The floor creaks once, softly, as the wood settles. Old buildings speak like this sometimes, not saying anything, just making the sounds that old wood makes when the temperature changes and the beams shift slightly in their ancient positions. It is a comfortable sound, the sound of something that has stood for a long time and will stand for a long time more. Your shoulders can soften now. They held tension today, perhaps. They rose up toward your ears without you noticing, carrying the weight of what you had to do. But here, there is nothing to carry. The night carries itself. The temple carries the lamp. The earth carries everything. You can let your shoulders rest. The courtyard tree sways slightly in a breeze you cannot feel inside the temple. Just a small movement, the branches lifting and settling, the leaves shifting against each other with a sound like a whisper. The tree has swayed like this for more nights than anyone has counted, and it will sway like this for many nights more. There is a small bell hanging by the temple door. It has not rung tonight. The air is too still, and there has been no one to ring it. The bell simply hangs there, patient as everything else, holding its silence the way the bowl holds its water, the way the lamp holds its flame. If your eyes are open, you might see the shadows on the walls, soft and indistinct, barely there. The shadows do not move much. They rest where the lamplight puts them, shapes without substance, darker places in the general dark. You do not need to watch them. You can let your eyes soften. Let them close if they wish. Let them look at whatever they want to look at, or at nothing at all. The breath moves on its own now, in and out, without effort. The body breathes the way the stream flows, the way the stars turn, the way the night continues. There is nothing to do about it. It simply happens, easy and right. The stream in the forest moves over its stones. The water is cold and clear, though you cannot see it from here. It comes down from somewhere higher on the mountain, from snow that melted months ago, from rain that fell in some storm you never knew about. The water does not remember where it came from. It only knows how to flow, and so it flows, down and down, through the darkness, through the night. In the morning, the monk will walk to the stream and fill a bucket. He will carry the water back to the temple and pour some into the bowl in the corner. He will water the small plants that grow by the temple door. He will drink some himself, standing in the early light. But that is morning. Morning is another world, another time. There is only the night now, and the night is enough. The lamp flame burns lower now, but there is still plenty of light. The oil is good oil, clean and slow burning, the kind the monk buys from a village at the bottom of the mountain. He walks there once a month, along the same path he has walked for years, and he carries back what the temple needs. The path knows his footsteps. The villagers know his face. Everything is as it has been, and as it will be. You may notice that your jaw has softened. It held tight today, perhaps, clenched against the pressures of the day. But here, in this lamplight, in this quiet, the jaw can rest. The teeth can part slightly. The tongue can lie still. All the small tensions that gathered in your face can begin to ease, one by one, like snow melting in spring. The trees in the forest have deep roots. They reach down into the earth, into the darkness, below the darkness. into the place where nothing changes and nothing needs to change. The roots hold the trees in place. They draw up water and whatever else the trees need. The trees do not worry about their roots. They simply trust them, the way you can trust your body tonight, the way you can trust the breath, the way you can trust the dark. A cloud passes across the moon. You cannot see this from inside the temple, but somewhere outside, the light changes slightly, dims for a moment, then returns. The cloud moves on, carried by winds too high to feel, and the moon continues in its arc, patient and round, lighting the tops of the trees, the surface of the stream, the courtyard stones. The day was too much. That is why you are here. And it is all right that the day was too much. Everyone has days like this. Days when the weight of things presses down. Days when there is more to do than can be done. More to feel than can be felt. The day was what it was, and now it is over. There is just the night now, and the night asks nothing. Breathing continues, slow and easy. The chest rises, soft as a sigh, then falls. The body rests. The mind can rest too, if it wants, or it can wander through whatever memories or images come to it. The temple does not mind. The lamp does not mind. Whatever happens in the mind tonight is allowed, is welcome, is part of the vast allowance of the dark. The small bell by the door hangs still. It has a clear tone when it rings, the monk has said, clear and true. But tonight it does not ring. Tonight it simply hangs there, a shape in the dimness, a possibility held in silence. The owl has not called again. Perhaps it has found what it was looking for. Perhaps it is resting now too, somewhere in the trees, its eyes closed, its wings folded, its body settling into the deep quiet that owls know. There is a stone by the temple path, larger than the others, that the monk uses as a seat sometimes. He sits there in the evenings, when the day's work is done, and watches the light fade from the sky. He does not think about much when he sits there. He just sits, the way the stone sits, the way the temple sits, the way everything sits in the great stillness of the mountain. You can feel that stillness now, if you let yourself. It comes in through the windows with the night air. It rises up from the earth below the floor. It has always been here, this stillness, waiting for anyone who needed it, anyone who had carried too much for too long and needed somewhere to set their burden down. The flame in the lamp is smaller now, but still bright enough to see by. The circle of light it casts on the walls has drawn in slightly, making the temple feel even smaller, even more enclosed, even more like a safe and quiet shelter in the vast darkness of the forest. Time passes. It always passes. But here, in this temple, the passing of time feels different. Not like something being lost, but like something being given, moment by moment, breath by breath, each moment sufficient, each breath complete. The forest at night is full of small sounds. If you listen, you might hear them. The creak of a branch, the rustle of something moving through the undergrowth, the distant call of a night bird that is not the owl. But you do not need to listen closely. You do not need to identify each sound or understand where it comes from. The sounds are just part of the night. The way the darkness is part of the night, the way the stillness is part of the night. The temple has weathered many seasons. It has known summer, when the heat gathers under the roof and the monk opens all the windows to catch whatever breeze there is. It has known autumn, when the leaves fall from the courtyard tree and cover the stones in red and gold. It has known winter, when snow piles on the roof and the monk keeps the fire burning from morning until night. And it has known spring, when the first green appears on the branches and the stream runs high with melted snow. But tonight is not any particular season. Tonight is just tonight. This night, the only night there is, holding you in its darkness, asking nothing of you. The mat beneath you has a particular texture, worn smooth in some places, slightly rough in others. It has absorbed the warmth of many bodies over the years. It has learned the shape of rest, the curve of someone letting go. You can trust it to hold you. It has been waiting for this, for someone to come and rest. In the village at the bottom of the mountain, people are sleeping too. In their small houses, in their beds, behind their closed doors, they are resting the way you are resting. The whole world rests at night. Even in places you have never been, even in lands you will never see, the darkness comes. And people close their eyes, and the great pause of sleep settles over everything. The lamp flame is steady. It has found its rhythm, burning just fast enough to give light, just slow enough to last through the night. The monk chose this lamp carefully years ago when he first came to the temple. He tried several lamps before he found this one, the one with the right shape, the right weight, the flame that burned just as it should. Now he does not think about the lamp anymore. It simply burns night after night, the same light repeated, the same quiet glow. Your feet can rest now. They carried you today wherever you went. They touched the ground again and again, step after step, holding you up, moving you forward. Now they can be still. The soles can soften. The toes can uncurl. All the small muscles that worked so hard can release their holding. The path through the forest is not visible from here. It winds between the trees, over roots, around stones, following the contours of the land, the way water follows the lowest path. In the daylight, the path is easy to see, a line of packed earth, worn bare by many feet. But at night, the path disappears into the general dark, indistinguishable from the forest floor. There is a clearing in the forest, not far from the temple, where nothing grows. The ground there is soft and mossy, and in the summer, wildflowers bloom along the edges. Sometimes the monk walks there to sit. He finds a spot on the moss, and he watches the light filter through the trees. He does not meditate, exactly. He does not practice anything. He simply sits, the way you are sitting now, letting the world be what it is. The night air is cool, but not cold. It moves through the temple slowly, carrying the smell of the forest pine and earth, and something green and growing. The air touches your face, your hands, the back of your neck. It does not demand anything. It simply moves, the way air always moves, filling the spaces it finds. Somewhere far above the trees, an airplane is crossing the sky. You cannot hear it and you cannot see it. Just a small light moving among the stars, carrying people to places they need to be. But that has nothing to do with you. That is another world, another life. Here, in this temple, there is only the lamp and the darkness and the long, slow breathing of the night. The stream continues to flow. It has been flowing since before the temple was built, since before anyone came to this mountain, since before the trees grew as tall as they are now. The stream does not know anything about time. It only knows how to flow, and so it flows, down from the heights, through the forest, past the temple, down and down to wherever streams go when they leave the mountains. The wooden floor of the temple is old enough that it has developed its own character. There are places where the grain is raised, places where knots make dark circles in the wood, places where the planks have separated slightly, leaving thin lines of darkness between them. The monk knows every inch of this floor. He has swept it 1,000 times. He has walked across it in the dark without stumbling. It is as familiar to him as his own hands. You do not need to know the floor that way. You only need to know that it is here, beneath you, holding you up. You only need to trust that it will continue to hold you through all the hours of the night. The courtyard tree has a particular shape that the monk has grown to love. It is not a beautiful tree exactly. It is bent and gnarled, its branches reaching in odd directions, its trunk scarred by storms and years. But it is his tree, the tree of this temple, the tree that has stood here through everything. He would not trade it for the most perfect tree in the world. A spider has built a web in one corner of the window. The web is almost invisible in the lamplight, just a few strands catching the glow, stretched between the wooden frame and a small hook in the wall. The spider is not there now. Perhaps it is out hunting, or perhaps it is hidden somewhere, resting, waiting for whatever spiders wait for in the night. The breath continues, in and out, the same rhythm that has been repeating since you arrived, the same rhythm that will continue long after you have fallen asleep. The body breathes itself. You do not need to help it. You can simply let it be. There are stars you cannot see tonight, stars that are hidden behind clouds, or behind the bulk of the mountain, or simply too faint to make out with human eyes. The universe is full of light that we never see. Signals crossing the darkness, photons traveling for millions of years to reach a planet where no one is looking up. It does not matter. The stars continue whether we see them or not. The light continues. Everything continues. The monk's room at the back of the temple is very small. There is a bed, a small table, a single chair. There is a window that looks out at the forest. There is a hook where he hangs his robe. That is all. He has lived in this room for many years, and he has never needed more. Simplicity, he has found, makes rest easier. The fewer things there are to think about, the more room there is for quiet. The lamplight reaches just far enough to touch the edges of the window frame. Beyond that, there is only darkness. The darkness of the forest, the darkness of the sky, the great darkness that wraps around everything at night. The darkness is not empty. It is full of trees and mountains and streams and all the creatures that live their lives in the night hours. But from inside the temple, it all looks the same. A velvet black, soft and deep and endless. You have been here for some time now. How long, it is hard to say. The temple does not mark the hours. The lamp does not count its burning. Time simply passes, the way water passes over stones, the way breath passes through the body, without effort, without measurement. The floor creaks again, another small sound in the quiet. The temperature is changing as the night deepens. The wood is contracting slightly, settling into its new shape. This happens every night. The temple breathes with the temperature, expanding and contracting, never quite the same, never quite different. Your neck can release now. It held your head up all day, balancing the weight of thoughts and worries and all the things you had to remember. But here, the head can rest, the neck can soften. The whole length of the spine can settle down toward the earth, vertebra by vertebra, letting gravity do its work. The temple walls have a warmth to them that has nothing to do with temperature. It is the warmth of a place that has been cared for, that has been loved in a quiet way, that has served its purpose faithfully for many years. The walls do not know they are loved, but they show it somehow. In the smoothness of the wood, in the way the light falls, in the simple dignity of standing where they stand. There is a closet at the back of the temple where the monk keeps extra things. Blankets for cold nights, an extra lamp, some tools for repairs. The closet is organized in his particular way. Everything in its place. Everything ready for when it might be needed. He rarely opens it. The temple needs very little, and what it needs, it usually already has. The courtyard outside has a particular silence to it at night. During the day, there might be birds passing through, or the sound of the monk sweeping, or the distant noise of the forest going about its business. But at night, the courtyard holds itself still, the stones cooling, the tree waiting, the whole space suspended in the darkness like a held breath. You do not need to be anyone right now. Whatever roles you played today, whatever you had to be for the people around you, whatever face you had to wear, all of that can rest now. You are not a worker or a parent or a friend or a stranger. You are simply here, simply resting, simply breathing in the darkness. That is enough. That is everything. The water in the bowl has been there all day, and it will be there all night. The monk does not change it often. He believes that water that sits still develops a certain quality, a certain depth that fresh water does not have. Whether this is true or not, the water sits and waits and holds its stillness, and looking at it, or simply knowing it is there, brings a kind of peace. The night outside is very large. It stretches over the forest and the mountain and the village and the valleys beyond. It covers places you have never heard of, places where other people are sleeping, their own sleeps, having their own dreams, resting from their own long days. The night holds all of them, the way it holds you. There is room enough in the darkness for everyone. The water in the bowl is very still. It has been still for hours, ever since the monk filled it this morning. The surface is like a dark mirror, reflecting what little light there is, holding the room in miniature, holding the night. Your hands are resting, your shoulders are resting, your jaw is soft, and your eyes are soft, and your breath is moving on its own, easy and slow. You do not need to do anything more. You do not need to fix anything or solve anything or understand anything. You only need to be here, in this body, in this night, letting the darkness hold you the way the earth holds the trees, the way the sky holds the stars. The path of stones leads from the temple door out into the forest, where it joins other paths, older paths, paths that wind through the mountains and down to the villages and out into the world. But you do not need to think about those paths tonight. Tonight, you are here, and here is enough. The monk is sleeping. The owl is sleeping. The trees are standing in their patient way, neither sleeping nor waking, just being trees, just doing what trees do through all the hours of the night. You can be like the trees if you want. You can simply be without trying, without straining, without worrying about what comes next. The lamp will burn for a while longer. Then it will dim, and then it will go out, and the temple will be darker, and that will be all right too. The darkness is not something to fear. It is just the night, doing what the night does, holding everything in its quiet arms. Breathing happens, in and out. The chest rises and falls. The body rests. The mind drifts, touching on thoughts the way the breeze touches on leaves, lightly, without grasping, without holding on. The courtyard tree stands. Its branches reach. Its roots hold. It has stood through many nights like this. Nights when the world was too much for someone, and they came here to rest. The tree does not remember those people. It does not count them or name them or wonder where they went. It simply stands, offering its shade in the day and its shape in the night, asking nothing, giving what it gives. There is a small pile of fallen leaves at the base of the tree. The monk will sweep them in the morning. He will gather them into a pile and carry them to a place at the edge of the forest where they can return to the earth. But for now, the leaves rest where they fell, dry and curled, finished with their time on the branches, finished with their turning and falling, simply resting now on the cool stones. You have done enough today. Whatever was asked of you, whatever you gave, whatever you could not give, it is done now. The ledger is closed. The account is settled. There is nothing more you owe the day, and there is nothing more the day can ask of you. You are free now, free to rest, free to be still, free to let the night carry you wherever it wants to go. The stream moves through the forest. The water slides over stones, around bends, through pools where fish sleep with their fins barely moving. The stream does not hurry. It does not worry about where it is going or when it will get there. It simply flows, the way everything flows when it is allowed to follow its nature. The walls of the temple are quiet. They do not speak or shift or demand attention. They simply stand there, doing what walls do, holding the space inside safe from the space outside, making a place where rest can happen. The flame in the lamp bends slightly in some current of air too faint to feel. Then it straightens. The light wavers for a moment, then steadies. This is how flames are. They respond to what is happening around them. Then they return to their own shape, their own burning, their own quiet work of turning oil into light. The temple has seen many nights like this one, nights when someone came seeking rest, nights when the world outside was too loud and the quiet inside was exactly what was needed. The temple does not remember these nights individually. They blend together, the way rain blends into a river, each one adding to something larger, something continuous. There is a small stone basin outside the temple door where rainwater collects. It is not raining tonight, but the basin still holds water from the last storm a few days ago. The water is still and cold and clear. In the morning, the birds will come to drink from it, and the monk will smile to see them, and he will not refill it because the sky will refill it eventually. Everything the temple needs comes eventually. There is no rush. The forest at night holds creatures you will never see. Small animals moving through the undergrowth, their eyes bright in the darkness. Insects going about their insect lives, climbing stems and crossing leaves. All of them are doing what they do, living their lives, asking nothing of you, unaware that you are here. The world is full of life that continues without you knowing about it. It is a comforting thought in its way that everything does not depend on your awareness, that so much happens whether you are paying attention or not. Your eyelids may be growing heavier now. This is good. This is the body doing what it knows how to do, moving toward sleep, toward rest, toward the deep quiet that waits on the other side of waking. You do not need to fight it. You do not need to hurry it. You can simply let it happen, the way you let the breath happen, the way you let the night happen. The small bell by the temple door has a history the monk does not know. Who made it? Who hung it here? When did it first ring in this place? The answers are lost to time, and the monk has never felt the need to find them. The bell is here now. That is enough. It rings when the wind is strong. It is quiet when the wind is still. It asks nothing and explains nothing. It simply is. The path through the forest continues even when no one walks it. The stones wait. The earth holds its shape. The trees grow over it slowly, their roots creeping, their branches reaching. Someday, perhaps, the path will disappear entirely, swallowed by the forest. But that someday is far away, and tonight the path is there, leading from the temple to the village, connecting this quiet place to the wider world. Your thoughts may still be moving. That is all right. Thoughts move the way clouds move across the sky, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes not at all. You do not have to chase them or hold them or understand them. You can simply let them be, the way you let everything be, the way the temple lets everything be. The monk chose this life many years ago. He was young then, younger than you might imagine. He had lived in the village, and he had lived in a city, and he had tried many things that did not bring him peace. Then he came to this mountain, and he found this temple, and he knew. He knew that this was the place, that this was the life, that this was what he had been looking for without knowing what he was looking for. He has not regretted it, not once, not in all the years since. There is a frog somewhere near the stream. You cannot hear it from here, but if you were closer, you might hear its call. A low, rhythmic sound, repeated again and again. a song of contentment or longing, or simply the sound that frogs make when the night is warm and the water is near. The frog does not think about its song. It simply sings, because that is what frogs do. The darkness is a kind of blanket now. It wraps around everything, soft and heavy, covering the trees and the temple and the path and the stream. Nothing is hidden from the darkness. Everything is held by it. You are held by it too, here in this quiet room, here in this pool of lamplight that is slowly shrinking as the night goes on. Tomorrow, the monk will wake and go about his day. He will sweep the courtyard and tend the small garden behind the temple. He will walk to the stream and fill his bucket. He will eat a simple meal and drink tea and sit on his stone by the path, watching the sky. None of this concerns you now. Tomorrow is its own world, with its own shape and its own requirements. Tonight, there is only tonight. The mat beneath you holds you without effort. It has learned, over many years, how to support without grasping, how to give without taking. You can sink into it. You can let your weight be held. There is nothing to do but rest. Your body is heavier now, not with sadness or with burden, but with the good heaviness of letting go. The muscles are releasing what they held. The bones are settling into their places. The whole body is remembering what it knew before the day began. How to rest, how to be still, how to let the night do its work. The darkness outside is very deep. No moon is visible now. The stars are there, somewhere above the trees, but you cannot see them from inside the temple. You can only imagine them, or not imagine them, or let them be whatever they are. Distant and bright and turning slowly in their ancient rounds. An hour has passed, perhaps more. The temple does not keep track. The lamp does not measure. Time moves the way the stream moves, the way the breath moves, without counting itself, without knowing how long it has been or how long it will be. You can close your eyes now, if they are not already closed. You can let the darkness behind your eyelids meet the darkness of the room. You can let your breath be the breath of the night, slow and even and deep. The monk turns in his sleep, far away in his small room. He makes a small sound, then settles. His dreams continue, whatever they are. Simple dreams. Dreams of nothing much. The owl rests in its tree. The fish rest in their pools. The leaves rest on the stones. Everything that can rest is resting now, and you are part of that great resting, that vast quiet, that deep peace that the night offers to anyone who will accept it. The flame in the lamp burns lower still. The circle of light is smaller now, gathered close around the lamp itself, no longer reaching to the walls. The room is darker, but the darkness is not empty. It is full of quiet, full of rest, full of the same peace that has filled this temple for more years than anyone remembers. There is nothing more to do. There is nothing more to think about. There is only the breath, moving in and out. There is only the body, rests where it rests. There is only the night, continuing as nights always continue, hour after hour, until the first pale light begins to show in the east and the birds begin to stir in the trees. But that is a long time from now. a very long time. For now there is only this temple, this lamp, this quiet, this rest. For now there is only the darkness, holding everything, asking nothing, giving what it gives. The monk has been here for so many years that he no longer remembers exactly how many. He came when he was young, and now he is not young, and the years between have blurred together into one long season of quiet. He does not mind this. He did not come here to count years. He came to find something, and he found it, and now he simply lives with what he found. The small garden behind the temple has vegetables growing in it, beans and squash and greens that the monk eats with his rice. He tends the garden every morning, pulling weeds, watering when the rain has not come, watching the plants grow in their slow and patient way. The garden teaches him things, though he could not say what exactly. It is enough to watch, to tend, to receive what the earth offers. There is a path from the garden to a small meditation seat at the edge of the forest. The monk rarely sits there for formal meditation anymore. He has found that his whole day has become a kind of meditation, that the distinctions he once made between practice and ordinary life have softened and disappeared. Still, sometimes he walks to the seat and sits there, not to meditate, but simply to sit, to feel the forest around him, to let the trees know he is still here. The stars above the temple are the same stars that shine over the village, over the cities, over all the places you have ever been, and all the places you will never go. The light that reaches you tonight left those stars years ago, traveling through the darkness, patient and unswerving, until it found this particular patch of sky, this particular night, this particular moment when you happen to be looking up, or not looking up, or resting here with your eyes closed and your breath slow. Your face can soften now. The muscles around the eyes can release their holding. The forehead can smooth. Whatever expressions you wore today, the concentration, the frustration, the effort of appearing a certain way, all of that can fade now. No one is watching. No one needs you to look any particular way. Your face can simply be a face, resting at ease. The night birds in the forest have settled. They made their sounds earlier when the darkness first came, but now they are quiet, resting in their hidden places, waiting for whatever night birds wait for. The forest is never completely silent, but it is quieter now than it was, the sounds fewer and farther between. Your breathing has found its own depth. It may be slower than it was when you first came here. It may be deeper. The body adjusts itself when it is allowed to rest. It finds the rhythm it needs. You do not have to help it. You can simply let it do what it knows how to do. The flame in the lamp is very small now, just a flicker of light in the darkness, barely enough to see by. Soon it will go out entirely, and the room will be dark, and that will be all right. The darkness will hold you just as the light held you. The night does not need the lamp to continue. The night continues on its own, with or without light, patient and complete. There is a particular quality to the air just before dawn. It becomes cooler, stiller, as if the world is holding its breath. You will not notice this tonight. You will be asleep long before dawn comes. But it will happen, as it always happens, the world turning toward morning without your awareness. without your help. The monk will wake when the first light touches his window. He will lie still for a moment, feeling his body, feeling his breath, feeling the simple fact of being alive on another day. Then he will rise and begin. He will make tea and sweep and tend his garden and walk to the stream. Another day will unfold, the same and different, the way all days are. But that is his day, not yours. You do not have to think about his day or anyone's day. You only have to rest here, in this night, in this darkness, letting the hours pass without counting them. The stream continues to flow somewhere in the forest. The water moves over its stones. The courtyard tree stands, its branches still, its roots deep. The bowl holds its water. The bell hangs by the door. Everything is where it should be. Everything is as it has been. And you are here, resting, breathing, being carried by the night, in and out, slow and easy. The body knows. The body remembers. Just rest now. Just rest. The lamp burns low. The darkness gathers. The night continues. And you are here. You are here, resting, breathing, being held. The stream flows. The trees stand. The stars turn. And you rest. You rest. Just rest. The breath moves, in and out, without effort, without thought. Just breath. Just quiet.